Hello again and welcome to Carling's Presents An Evening of Legends in association with the IFA. It is hard to believe, it really is hard to believe, we've done 9 of these. We've been to Linfield, Glentoran, Cliftonville, Ballymena, Coleraine, etc., etc. Now, after tonight, we've got Newry City next week, and the very last one, but not least, is Crusaders. But tonight, we are with County Tyrone's finest Dungannon Swifts. Small club, but going places. They're in the top 6. Tonight we have got 4 legendary figures. We have the manager, we have the assistant manager, and we have 2 McArees. We have Rodney, who's just retired as a player, and we've got Joe, a former manager, former social club manager. He's done everything at this club, and they are the best father and son double act in these parts. It'll be lively. You'll enjoy it. Dixie, just before we get to some questions, how pleased are you? Top 6. It's quite something.
Well, I suppose when I took the job, which was a temporary, and it was actually Joe who brought me down, and I think it was a case of it was forced upon me because I think I was the only one in the local area that had the qualification to take on the job towards the end of last season, and I think I got it by chance and a bit of luck, and I said I would do it till the end of the season, and unfortunately we won a relegation playoff against DC and stayed up, and to be honest, I got a great buzz from it, Jackie, and then I was asked would I consider taking the job at the start of this season, and it was something I hadn't really thought about, but when I went to these 2 men here, I don't think I would have took the job without their help, because I knew what they had to offer. I know the qualities that they both have. And I just felt as a team of 3, I think we had a lot to offer. And it certainly, it's not down to me, it's down to the 3 of us and how we planned and operated, and obviously down to the players and how they've carried those instructions out. But it's a massive, it's a massive boost for the club because, everyone had written us off at the start of the season, and everywhere I looked, 9 out of 10 pundits were saying Dungannon would finish bottom, and well, that was motivation at the start of the season.
Sam Wright, Rodney McAree, what ambitions have you left in football?
So probably first and foremost is to hopefully continue on with the success we've had this season, and for a club, I think our next success is to win a major cup at some stage, where that be it the CAS, the Irish Cup. I don't know whether we'll get as far as the Gibson Cup, but I think we've the capabilities of winning one of the 2 big cups, and I think that's an ambition that I'd like to do, is help lead the club to one of them cups.
It's a question for Joe. Right, what was the most memorable occasion in your long career?
It's very difficult for me to say which one's the best. I mean, selfishly as a manager, to get the manager of the year and be presented with it by Peter Schmeichel was something special. When you take into consideration on that night, Roy Coyle had won the league and I think the cup as well, and he would certainly have been favourite to get the manager of the year. But I think the football writers felt that for a club like Dungannon from the country to have finished in 4th place and qualified for Europe was something special, better and more important than Roy Coyle having such a fantastic season with Glentoran. And I remember when I was called up that night, I'm not often stuck for words, as most people would know, but I just couldn't find words that night. It was such a shock whenever he called my name out. And that
It was a shock for Roy Coyle as well.
I knew by Roy's face that he was shocked.
This is regards to the Premier League. Does the management think that there should be a wage cap in the Premiership, and would it work?
Should there be a cap put on wages in the Premier League? It's a good question. And would it work?
Well, personally, from my point of view,
You'll have to put a cap on it with the new budget.
I think it is a. There's a lid on it, Jackie.
Does what it says in the tin. Eh?
think.
Can I borrow that chair? Because this is going to be a long answer.
No, it'll not be a long answer. I just think in theory it's a fantastic idea, and it's an idea that everyone would be in favour of. But anybody who's been in football, as long as we've been in football, knows that it won't be policed properly, and it'll be manipulated, and people will find ways of paying other players money, and at the end of the day, if Dungannon Swifts can offer a player £120 a week, and he can go somewhere else, and their wage structure determines that they can only pay £120 a week, if somebody turns around and gives them an extra 40 quid under the table, that's what happens, and that's what will happen. And in theory, it's a great idea, but I don't think it'll ever work.
Should the players not be more reasonable in their demands, or does human nature take over in this day and age and says, well, hey, if somebody wants to offer me 400 quid a week, I'll take it? Should the players not have a part to play? Not easy to answer when you have 15 pounds in you.
Well, no, I'll be honest about the question. I don't think money has ever played a part in my football career. When I left Portdown to sign for Glenavon, and I'm not afraid to admit it, earned £23.50 a week. That's what I got. The buzz I got was playing in front of 6,000-7,000 people and playing for Glenavon, and over the years, I was there 7 years. When I left Glenavon to go for Linfield, I was earning about £120 a week, and that was when then I went to Linfield. It wasn't about the money. Again, for me, it was all about playing where I thought I would be happy, and where I thought that I had an opportunity to do better. Footballers nowadays, this last 5-10 years, it is about money, and they've got away from the fact of what it is, and the enjoyment is playing football. And I enjoyed my football. And when I left Linfield, I came here because I thought it was the right thing for me to do. And whether in 5 or 6 years' time, if I'm proved right about that, I can still stand over that decision. I've never been guided by money, and I never will be. Because at the end of the day, money doesn't bring you happiness. Friendships and people bring you happiness. And that's...
Just interested to know from Darren and Dixie and Rodney, who'd be the best player you ever played with or against in the Irish League?
Joe signed Bertie McMinn, and Bertie came here from a long career, and I think he was past his best when he came here. But I have to say, training with him, playing with him, me and him started off on the wrong foot because I took the penalties here, and Bertie came, and the first penalty we got, Bertie wanted to take it, and we were fighting over the ball. So we went from rivals to good mates on and off the pitch, Jackie, as I'm sure you would know.
Out of my 17-year Irish League career, for 12 of them, nearly, I played with Glenn Ferguson. And for me, I know you joked him, he's the granddad of the Irish League. For me, he is the daddy of the Irish League. He is, without doubt, the best I've played with.
Gary Bonus for me was somebody who I would love to have played a wee bit more with, because he was special. He had something about him. The crowd loved him. Everybody loved him. His teammates loved him. He had flair. He could beat people in a sixpence, as they say. If he went for a goal, he was always very accurate. He was such a confident lad, but unfortunately, things happen in life, and I would love to have had a little bit longer time to play along with Gary Bonus, and I would certainly rank him up with anybody who I've played with in the Irish League.
And I guess?